Imagine this. You walk into a grocery store in New York City. The shelves are full, but the lights are out. The cashier tells you it's cash only, no cards, no phones, no apps. Outside, traffic lights are dead, and car horns echo through the chaos. This isn't a scene from a movie. It's a glimpse into what America would look like if the grid went down for just 72 hours. Welcome to Red Alert Zone. Tonight, we break down what happens if the US faces a nationwide blackout, not for months, not even for weeks, but just 3 days, 72 hours. The ripple effects could shake families, businesses, and national security faster than most people realize. Imagine this. At 8:17 p.m. Eastern Time, the lights flicker across New York City. At first, people assume it's nothing more than a small power surge, the kind of glitch that happens every summer when air conditioners strain the grid. But then, block by block, borough by borough, the darkness spreads. Neon signs vanish. Subway tunnels turn pitch black. The skyline, normally a symbol of endless energy, goes silent. Within minutes, reports come in. Washington, D.C., Boston, Philadelphia, Chicago, all plunging into darkness. The U.S. power grid, the invisible web that keeps America alive, has gone down. Not a storm, not a local outage. This is nationwide. Hour 1, 2, 3. At first, there is denial. Families light candles, assuming power will be back soon. Restaurants hand out free food before it spoils. Social media explodes with hashtags like #blackout2025. But as cell towers lose backup power, signals fade, texts stop sending, streams cut out mid-video. In a hyper-connected nation, silence begins to spread. Hour 4 to 6. Hospitals switch to generators. Emergency rooms glow faintly under fluorescent backups, but doctors already worry. Oxygen machines, dialysis, intensive care units, these cannot run forever without stable electricity. In one New Jersey hospital, nurses scramble to manually pump air for premature infants whose incubators have shut down. Hour 7 to 12. The streets grow restless. Gas stations can't pump fuel because their systems are down. ATMs don't work. Credit cards fail, and suddenly cash is king. In supermarkets, panic buying begins. Water aisles empty first, then canned food, then medicine shelves. A woman in Ohio films herself crying after being shoved aside in a grocery store stampede. The video never uploads, her phone dies before the signal can send. Hour 12 to 24. Airports are frozen, planes grounded, runways dark, rail lines halt. Subway cars sit immobile underground, passengers trapped until firefighters force doors open. In Los Angeles, police try to manage traffic with hand signals as every light is out. Car horns echo like an angry chorus. Rumors spread. Some whisper of a cyberattack. Others fear a foreign strike. In a country where confidence depends on information, the absence of communication is itself a weapon. By the time the first 24 hours close, fear has begun to outweigh patience. By the time America enters the second day of the blackout, patience has evaporated. The glow of candles in suburban homes has turned into the crackle of fear. What began as an inconvenience now feels like the unraveling of society. Hour 24 to 30. Generators begin to fail. Diesel supplies at hospitals and police stations rely on run dry. In some cities, fire alarms go silent because the backup batteries have died. In Baltimore, a fire breaks out in a residential block, but hydrant pumps don't work. Firefighters stand helpless as flames consume half a street. The smoke is more than physical, it's symbolic of a system choking without electricity. Hour 30 to 36. Prisons enter crisis. Electronic locks jam and guards are forced to patrol manually with flashlights. In Louisiana, rumors spread of inmates breaking through gates. Whether true or not, fear pushes residents to arm themselves. Gun stores, still able to accept cash, sell out in hours. The American nation of more firearms than citizens becomes more armed in the middle of a blackout. Hour 36 to 42. Water treatment plants stop pumping clean supplies. Taps run dry in some areas, while others deliver brown, unsafe water. Families begin boiling what they can, but without stoves or electricity, many fail. In rural Kentucky, neighbors gather at a creek, filling buckets like pioneers from centuries ago. Desperation erases modernity. Hour 42 to 48. Supermarkets are empty. Pharmacies stripped. Trucks sit idle on highways because fuel pumps don't work. The fragile just-in-time supply chain that normally delivers food daily collapses after just 2 days. In Dallas, desperate crowds storm a distribution warehouse. Police arrive, But with radios patchy and manpower stretched, chaos erupts. Shots are fired. The first deaths of the blackout are reported. Hour 48. The US government activates full-scale emergency protocols. FEMA sets up temporary shelters. The National Guard is deployed to key cities, and curfews are declared. But for ordinary citizens, it is too late. Trust is snapped. In neighborhoods from Detroit to Phoenix, people barricade doors with furniture. Rumors of looting spread faster than any verified report. Fear is the only broadcast everyone hears. Day 2 ends not with silence, but with sirens, smoke, and the low hum of a nation sliding from discomfort into survival mode. By the time America enters the third day of darkness, the blackout is no longer an emergency. It is a disaster. The fragile line that separates order from chaos has been crossed. Hour 48 to 60. National Guard convoys roll into cities, Humvees parked at intersections, soldiers in full gear directing desperate crowds. But instead of calming people, the sight of troops with rifles confirms what many already fear. Society has failed. Curfews are announced, but with no phones, no internet, no television who hears them. In St. Louis, a National Guard patrol is attacked by panicked civilians who mistake them for looters. Hours 62-66. Hospitals shut down. Generators have died. Fuel gone. In Miami, patients are wheeled into parking lots, ventilated by hand, as relatives cry and pray. A doctor tells a reporter with a satellite phone, "We've gone back to the 19th century in less than 3 days." Hours 66-72. The financial system collapses. Banks already offline cannot process anything. Wall Street is silent. For the first time since the Great Depression, Americans wake up to the realization that money in a digital account is meaningless without power. Small towns turn to barter gasoline for medicine, canned food for bottled water. Hour 70 across the country, civil unrest breaks out. In Portland, supermarkets are raided. In Atlanta, gas stations are set on fire. In New York, thousands march toward City Hall demanding answers, their chants echoing in the empty dark streets. And then comes the geopolitical escalation. Intelligence leaks that the blackout was not caused by a simple grid failure, but by a coordinated cyberattack, possibly foreign. In Washington, the president convenes an emergency cabinet meeting under the glow of backup lights. Military options are discussed. Retaliation, cyber counterstrikes, even conventional force. The US government issues its most serious warning since 9/11. We are at war in the digital domain. Prepare for possible escalation in the physical world. The aftermath. By the end of 72 hours, America is unrecognizable. Cities scarred by riots, hospitals overwhelmed, families divided by fear, and an entire population staring into the unknown, asking if 3 days without electricity can do this. What would 3 weeks look like? For the rest of the world, the signal is clear. Energy grids, once taken for granted, are now weapons. Cyberattacks, once seen as invisible skirmishes, are now acts of war. In every household, from New York to Los Angeles, realizes that the front line of the next conflict may not be a battlefield overseas, it may be the outlet in your own living room.